Hi, everybody. Welcome to my homestead. Welcome to my channel. My name is Jared. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. So I came across this article today. I'm recording this on November 13th, and this was published today. This is Deseret News. Fear of backlash causes young voters to stay silent. I don't know if you saw it, but I just did a video sharing my own experience of receiving backlash for who I voted for. It was a member of my family. They told me that they didn't want to see me again, and they were ashamed that I was their family member, and it was hysterical and a little bit freaky the way that it was delivered. There's more to that story, but I did a video about it. It's this one right here. Just happened. I never want to see you or talk to you again. And then later on, I talk about priesthood blessings. I had two kind of crazy experiences recently. So if you missed this one, I'll put a link for it in the description box below. But that was yesterday. And now there's this story today. Let's take a look at this. It sounds like it's not just me. Okay, voter intimidation caused many to lie about who they voted for this presidential election cycle. A recent Axios Harris poll survey found that nearly 1 in 4 voters lied to people close to them regarding their vote. And nearly half, 48%, of Generation Z did. Isn't that sad? You guys, like, I don't know what the numbers were like before this year. I don't know if it was like this, in 2020 or 2016. I'm guessing that it's probably the worst that it's ever been. Okay, Generation Z and Black voters reported feeling the most concerned about voter intimidation when they reached the polls on election day. And then it has a breakdown of each generation and what percent lied about their vote. Generation Z, 48%. Millennials, 38%. That's me. I'm like at the very beginning of the millennials. Generation X, 17%. And then Boomer and older, 6%. Oh my gosh. Democrats were 3% more likely to lie about who they voted for than Republicans. However, men, 30%, were twice as likely to feel the need to stay silent about which candidate they favored compared to women, 17%, who felt similarly. Millennials were cited as having the most tension between family members on controversial topics. Well, that's true in my case. 33% of respondents said that differences of opinion have caused them not to be close with some family members. Oh, you guys, this is just ridiculous. Don't worry. I have some scriptures to share and something that President Nelson said and some of my own thoughts. We're going to try and process this a little bit. Are Gen Z more sensitive? With exceptions, Emma believes younger generations are generally more sensitive than older generations, and that plays a role in why they feel the need to lie, with social media being a driving force behind it. Okay, now listen to this. This right here is going to be kind of the central theme and the meat of what I want to talk about in this video. Listen to what she says. Quote, "I had friends posting, 'If you voted for Trump, I want nothing to do with you.' And then I'm like, okay, well, where does that leave me? But they don't know that I voted like that, so they're fine with me, but I don't bring it up. And they don't bring it up because I think they know my family voted Republican. So it's just this weird thing where it's like this elephant in the room. I highlighted that because no pun intended, where you don't want to talk about it. And it's also really hard to talk to someone who gets all their sources from very biased and hateful media," she added. "It's almost like I just feel like I'd be shot down so quick. Is it even worth the effort to defend myself, or is it better to stay quiet and think whatever they don't really need to know anyways, or whatever they don't really need to know anyways?" Well, let's go back to the third word that you used in these 3 paragraphs. And the word is friends. Is someone really your friend if they demand that you think the way that they do or vote the way that you do, or else there's going to be consequences? Is it really your friend? Do you really need to ask yourself, well, should I defend myself or should I stay quiet? Is this really your friend? Is that the definition of a friend? Friends are loving. They're loyal. They care about you. They see the goodness in you. So I would question whether that person is actually your friend. And I don't want people to get hung up on Trump and Harris, because it can happen either way. There can be people that voted for Trump that are just as hateful as those that voted for Harris. There's hate on both sides. And there's this childish behavior, this black and white thinking where it's like, no, either you're completely with me in my politics or you're not. Okay, so I don't know about you, but these people, I let them go. I don't push them away. There's nobody that I will ever push away. But I will quietly step away or limit contact if someone is bad for me. But I will never do this kind of thing, this like tirade on somebody where, unloading all my grievances about whatever that person did and then leave. I just say to myself, okay, this person isn't the best influence. They don't really love me. They're hostile. It's hurting me psychologically, spiritually, emotionally. So I need to just step away. So in other words, it's turning the other cheek. You turn the other cheek. You don't add to the chaos. You don't add fuel to the fire. You just step away and you pray for that person, because that person is now your enemy. And we're supposed to love our enemies and pray for them, and hopefully they'll change and they'll see the light. So there's kind of a difference, There's the one side where it's like you're intolerant of somebody and you push them away and you threaten them in this way. It's a type of manipulation. What they're trying to do is they're trying to manipulate you to fall in line with the way that they think. It's a threat. It's a type of manipulation. Whereas what I just described is you are being harmed and you're not expected to stay in a situation where you're being harmed. So you don't fight back. You just step away. You pray for that person and you get yourself to a safe place. And then you realize, is that person really my friend? And when it comes down to it, is it really my family? Like, they may biologically be your family, but I think it's the same thing with friends. Family members are supposed to love each other and support each other even more than friends. You have that blood relation. You're related. But just because you are biologically related to somebody, it doesn't always mean that person is your family member. And when it comes to the final judgment, there is going to be separation. We're about to see separation pretty soon at the time of the second coming. Anyone that's living a telestial law currently are going to be separated out. And I think a lot of what's going on right now is the separation of the wheat and the tares. Not over politics, but the way that people treat each other. And whether people have hate and envy and jealousy and pride in their heart, or if they don't. Not along political lines necessarily. Along the lines of, are you a good, upright person? How do you treat other people? Because I suspect if you're not very good at treating other people well, you're probably living a telestial law. And it makes me think about this scripture. This is Matthew 10, verses 32 to 39. This is Jesus Christ. And he says, "Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father, which is in heaven." Okay, so what does this girl do? She's worried about, let's just say that, let's put politics to the side. Let's say that she is like wanting to post about the gospel or about her beliefs, right? Well, again, I think the best thing to do is identify who your real friends are. Do real friends treat you this way? If you're sharing your heartfelt beliefs, friends will respect you. They may not agree with you, but they will respect you. And you know, uh, but putting that aside, yeah, we don't need to be belligerent with people and be in people's faces, but we do need to let our light shine and hold fast to our beliefs. So, whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father, which is in heaven. So, I don't know that I would hide. I would maybe step away and change my friends and change the influences in my life and hope that maybe those people will come back into your life, but they need to respect you. You need to, there needs to be mutual respect. Verse 33, but whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father, which is in heaven. Think not that I'm come to send peace on earth. I'm not, okay, I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. That's my favorite one right there. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. Now, hopefully we all understand what he's saying here. He's not saying, I came to tear your family apart. If you want to follow me, then start getting into a family feud. It ties into what he was saying before, whether you're going to follow Christ or not. And I don't know of any family in the world, I don't know of any, where every single person has stayed with the church. There's always at least like one person, whether it's in your immediate family or extended, that will leave the church and possibly fight against it. There's going to be division. And I think that the Lord plans our families that way, because I think what he probably does is he'll take stronger spirits and put them in a family, and take some weaker spirits, put them in the same family, and hopefully the effect is that the stronger ones will help the weaker ones rise up to the same level. And when we come to this earth, it can actually get turned around. We can come here. We may have been great in the premortal life, but then we come here and we lose it. We were born in the covenant, but then we lose it because mortality is different from the premortal life. But anyway, in theory, I think that's kind of the way that the Lord does things. He puts opposites together sometimes, hoping that it'll help the one that needs the help. Okay, but you do have these conflicts, and it's common. It's probably every single family has this to one degree or another. Okay, and a man's foes shall be they of his own household. Yeah, that just came to a head for me just a few days ago. It's kind of been in the making for at least a decade or more. Yeah. He that loveth father or mother more than me, I'm sorry. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. So he's not asking you to, no matter what, you better like me better. Or you better like, it's about who he is. It's about the gospel. It's about, are you going to be influenced and pressured by your family to break the commandments and break your covenants? Are you going to be pressured by your family and friends to not get on the covenant path or whatever? Are you going to be under their influence, or are you going to come to Christ? Okay. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. And he that findeth his life shall lose it. So think about like your social life. You may feel like, well, it's better for me socially to just go along to get along, and I'll just hide my faith. I'll even deny it sometimes. Yeah, Yeah, I'll go along. I'll pretend. No, 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 no. We need to be a light. That doesn't mean that we need to attack, but we need to be a good example and live righteously and be an example of what a disciple of Christ is and not hide it. And so, and he that loseth his life, like your social life, for my sake, shall find it. Yeah, you will find your true life, your eternal life, your true friends. I think you have to ask yourself, do you have true friends and true family members that aren't trying to manipulate you to think the same way that they do? I think that if you come to Christ and you find others that feel the same way, you will find your true friends in your true family. And that's what we're going to end up with at the final judgment, is we're going to have celestial families. People who are worthy of the celestial kingdom will be sealed together. So families as they are right now are not going to stay the same. That's the whole point of this process, is for you to decide, what do you want to be? Telestial, terrestrial, or celestial? And those that are celestial are sealed together in the family of God and continue in that family relationship. Okay, and then the last thing is President Nelson's April 2023 talk. This was his main talk of that conference, Peacemakers Needed. And I'm sure that he had these elections in mind, and probably other things that are to come. He says, vulgarity, fault-finding, and evil speaking of others are all too common. Too many pundits, politicians, entertainers, and other influencers throw insults constantly. Pay attention to this. That's why I have it highlighted in red. I am greatly concerned that so many people seem to believe that it is completely acceptable to condemn, malign, and vilify anyone who does not agree with them. That is what happened to me just a few days ago. That is absolutely what just happened to me. And I came to find out it wasn't just me. It was other family members too. So I wasn't the only one to bear the brunt of this person's anger. Many seem eager to damage another's reputation with pathetic and pithy barbs. Yeah. There's too much of that. Attacking people. Especially when you do it by name, but like, even if you're just like alluding to people, I always say, like, we need to discuss ideas, and we do need to defend against certain ideas. We need to stand up for the truth, but let it remain just, attacking ideas, not people. Don't go after people's reputations. Everyone makes mistakes. That person may change, but when you attack a person personally, it may drive them further away from the church or make them more hostile and on the defensive. So ideas, not people. Okay, anger never persuades. Hostility builds no one. Contention never leads to inspired solutions. Regrettably, we sometimes see contentious behavior even within our own ranks. We hear of those who belittle their spouses and children, of those who use angry outbursts to control others. Yeah, that's control. Manipulation, control. People trying to force you to do what they want or to think the way that they do. Control, manipulation. And of those who punish family members with the quote unquote silent treatment, which is it's a type of manipulation. We hear of youth and children who bully, and of employees who defame their colleagues. Yeah. My dear brothers and sisters, this should not be. As disciples of Jesus Christ, we are to be examples of how to interact with others, especially when we have differences of opinion. One of the easiest ways to identify a true follower of Jesus Christ is how compassionately that person treats other people. So I think that we should take that as a warning and ask ourselves, do some introspection. Are we true followers of Jesus Christ, Or are we just members of the church that pretend like we're followers of Jesus Christ, while off to the side and in private, we are not compassionate with how we treat others, and we throw other people under the bus and try to manipulate them and shame them and things like that, vilify them. The Savior made this clear in his sermons to his followers in both hemispheres. Blessed are the peacemakers, he said. Whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. You guys, this is such a simple concept. It's so funny to me. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but it's so funny to me where you have people in the church that focus on like deep doctrine, or, get into speculation, or, or whatever. They act like they have these things mastered. Stuff from the Sermon on the Mount. Like, it's like, oh yeah, I understand patience. Oh yeah, be a peacemaker. That's easy. No, none of this is easy. Being a peacemaker, that's hard. That's really what you should really focus on. What's easy is to get baptized. What's easy is to take the sacrament every week. Those are the easy things, like the things that you can do to be seen of men. There are things that you need to do. They're ordinances. But just because you've entered into covenants and you've gone through the ordinances of the gospel doesn't mean that you're a true follower of Christ. So you do those things, but you're committing to do these things, like be a peacemaker and turn the other cheek. There's so many times where I've seen just like gospel discussions talk about such meaningless things that don't matter. It's like people don't want to look inside themselves and make the hard changes. But there are a lot of people that do. I see plenty of that too. But I see so many times people getting offended and they do not turn the other cheek. They throw it back at whoever their perceived persecutors are. Perceived or real or true persecutors. So again, it's like someone attacks you. You try and calm down the situation. You do defend yourself if you have to, like if your life is in danger or you're protecting somebody else, obviously. But when you have belligerent people, you just do your best to slowly and quietly and respectfully step away and leave them in their own mess. It's not just with you. They have a mess with other people as well. And hopefully they'll change over time. Hopefully they'll have a change of heart. Maybe you can be friends again in the future. I don't know. Okay, continuing. And then, of course, he gave the admonition that challenges each of us. Love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. And I've been doing a lot of praying for this person that did this the other day. Just randomly called me, yelled in my ear and told me that they never wanted to see me again. I've been praying. I pray that his heart will be softened. I pray that maybe something will be done to break the pride cycle, if that's what needs to happen. That there's the pride cycle. Sometimes a person has to be brought low to their lowest point to get them to change course. And that's kind of the story of A Christmas Carol with Scrooge. He had the pride cycle his pride was broken. He had a paradigm shift in his thinking. So pray for them. Don't fight against them. Don't try and set the record straight. Nobody cares about the record. There is no record. No one cares. Don't add to the drama. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this one. So just really sad. Really sad. People can't talk about who they voted for without fear of repercussion from their peers. That's just great. Okay, well, that's going to be it for this one. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it, leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Also, make sure to share it, and I'll talk to you guys later.